Okay, at first, I'd like to share words of our founder, Shin from chapter on practice of Jodo Shinshu. So please join me in that show. Please put your palms together. 敬って一切往生民と義毛作、無税一条会は無下無変最小人名、不可説不可証不可思議の取得を成就したまえり、何をもってのゆえに、聖願不思議なるがゆえに、なお磁石のごとし、本願の因をするがゆえにと。Respectfully, I say to all people who aspire to be born in the Pure Land, the ocean of the one vehicle, the universal vow, has consummated the highest virtue, which is unhindered, unbounded, supreme, profound, inexplicable, indescribable, and inconceivable. How can this be? It is because the vow surpasses conceptual understanding. It is like a magnet, for it draws to itself the virtues originating from the primal vow. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's Ohigan service. And I'm sorry, I was wandering around, going back and forth. My battery died, so that's why you lost the audio from the speaker during my chanting. So that reminded me of checking the battery before the service is really important, right? And then spring Ohigan time, I often think about this is the beginning of the baseball season. Right? So I'm really excited because I really love baseball, and watching baseball is really fun. I don't know if you have watched the World Baseball Classics. Did you watch the game? You don't watch baseball anymore? No? But the final was United States against Japan, right? So it was really fun to watch. And top of 9 was USA, and then Shohei Ohtani pitched against Mike Trout, right? That was really amazing game to watch, and I really enjoyed it. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about baseball, right? So Ohigan literally means other shore, okay? Other shore. This is the word supposing there is this shore, right? We don't say other shore if there is no this shore. Then, what does this shore and other shore refers to? And this shore is this world, the world of delusion, the impure world, the world of love and hate. It is the world of delusion because everybody relies on their own views and understanding. People often think that what I think is right, my way is the correct way, right? And because everybody has own measure, or what is right or wrong, good or bad, there are always conflicts in the world. And as I mentioned, just like the final game of the World Baseball Classic, those who were cheering for Japan were so happy for their win, right? Yeah. But those who were cheering for United States, it was disappointing. So we witnessed the same result of a baseball game, right? And how we feel depends on everybody. The late Professor Koitsu Yokoyama, a researcher of Yogacara, which is the representation theory, often said that one person, one universe. One person, one universe. We are adding our own impressions to what we sense, what we experience. So we have one universe for each individual. This is the world of delusion. And on the other hand, other shore is the realm of Buddha, enlightenment, nirvana, the pure land, the realm of perfect peace. So Buddhism's goal is to reach to this other shore through various practices. But generally, there are two paths, okay? The path of the self-power and the path of other power. The path of the self-power is like making oneself like a magnet. After fulfilling the practice, just as the magnet draws the iron around them, the one should be able to awaken other beings. Just like Shakyamuni Buddha, he attained enlightenment and awakened many of his disciples. So the practices, such as 6 parameters, which Etsu just talked about, are considered one of the self-power practice to reach to other shore. Of course, we can understand 6 parameters in Jodo Shinshu way, and it's presented in Jodo Shinshu manner, right? And then, actually, the word paramita has 2 meanings. One meaning is perfection. Another meaning is to reach to the other shore. So through the perfection of the 6 practices of selfless giving, keeping precepts, patience, efforts, meditation, and wisdom, the practitioner reaches the other shore. The other pole, the path of other pole, is like we drown to the magnet. Doesn't make sense. It is not our effort to move towards the other shore, but the working from the other shore draws us to it. This is the path of Nembutsuge, the path of entrusting ourselves to the working of the name, Namo Amida Butsu. I don't know if you know the Chinese classics, Journey to the West. Have you ever read or do you know the story, Journey to the West? Or if you know the animation, Dragon Ball. Do you know Dragon Ball? So the Monkey King in Journey to the West, or Son Goku in Dragon Ball, they cannot fly, right? Actually, Son Goku eventually fly by his ability, but Jin Daoyun in Chinese, or Tin Toon in Japanese, which is a mysterious special cloud that let the Monkey King or Son Goku fly the air. It is not the ability of the Monkey King or Son Goku to fly the air, but it is the working of the cloud. Does it make sense? So modern days, it is the same thing. We can travel overseas easily because of the airplane, right? It's not our ability to fly the air, but it is the working of the airplane. So, it is not our ability to reach to the other shore, but it is the working of the name, Namo Amida Butsu, to take us to the other shore. This is the path of other power. Then some people might say that, wait, Buddhism is supposed to be the path of practice. Moving the one towards the enlightenment. It's not just the act, but the practice means the act which moves one towards the enlightenment. So to move one towards the enlightenment through practices, the one needs to make one's mind pure. So I have to use this metaphor because it is easy to imagine, but please imagine the dirty table, really dirty table. When the table is dirty, we want to clean the table, right? But if we wipe the table with dirty tablecloth, we cannot clean the table, even though the intent of cleaning the table is good. Because wipe is dirty, we cannot clean the table. So the practice of 6 parameters are great practices. But to make them as practice to move us towards the enlightenment, first, we need to make ourselves pure. So the path of sages who can bear the severe practices talks about keeping precepts to make oneself pure, calm one's mind through meditation, and gain wisdom. These are called 3 studies. And this path takes unimaginably long time to fulfill the path. The path of other power is for everybody. But more for the ordinary being like me, who are burdened by the three poisons of greed, anger, and ignorance. The practice to move us towards the enlightenment is the name, Namo Amida Butsu. And we recite Namo Amida Butsu in response with gratitude for Amida Buddha's great benevolence to grasp and never abandon us, just as the magnet draws the iron to itself. And once attached to it, never let the iron go, right? So because magnet have the power to make the iron into magnet, once we are grasped by the working of Amida Buddha, and when our lives comes to an end, we become the working to guide and teach others and draw them through the Amida Buddha's working, just like magnet. Is it too difficult? No? By the way, in the words I shared at the beginning, there was a term, one vehicle, right? One vehicle. If you read Shin and Shonin's writings, you hear this term a lot, one vehicle. This means that we only need the working of the name, Namo Amida Butsu, to reach to the other shore. So, some of us are going to Japan in May. We are going to take a bus to Seattle, fly to Tokyo, and then fly to Osaka. To get to the destination, we need to take multiple vehicles. When taking multiple vehicles, we have to worry about many things, right? Like if we are able to make it in time for transit or something. But it is easy if the one vehicle takes us to the destination straight, right? So some other path of Buddhism, they need to take multiple vehicles to reach to other shore. But it is not about which is good or bad. It is just a matter of which path fit each individuals the most, okay? And this is just like medicine. There are certain medicines which works for the person best, but it does not mean that the medicine works for everybody. The medicine of the name Namo Amida Butsu actually works for everybody, but some people prefer the other medicine. As I mentioned, it is a matter of which path fit the person most. And there is no need of criticizing other path or other practices or disputes among Buddhists or with people of other faith. Also, as there are medicines for various symptoms, there are various paths within Buddhism. We don't recommend a medicine for stomachache to those who have headache, right? So that is why I don't say that you should follow this path, because it is totally one's own choice to choose which path fits the one the most. And because the path is like medicine, we need to know what kind of people we are, what kind of person I am. So the path of Buddhism is always comes with self-reflection. What kind of person I am? Why the afflictions never disappear inside of me? That is because I am ordinary foolish being who repeat the same mistakes over and over again. I say the words I should not say and hurt somebody's feelings. At the moment, I regret it, but I repeat the same mistakes again. This is because of afflictions of anger or ignorance. So for a person like me, who is burdened by the afflictions, the medicine of Amida Buddha, the path of Nembutsuge, works the best. So this is the only way for me to reach to the other shore. Then some people might think that, well, I don't want to reach the other shore. I just want to live this life better, right? So one of the masters in the past said something like this. This is just like seeking for a straw, ignoring the harvest of the rice. Okay, this is just like seeking for a straw, ignoring the harvest of the rice. We grow rice to harvest rice, right? We don't grow rice for the straw. The straw comes after the harvest of the rice. Because we unfailingly reach the other shore through the working of the name Namo Amida Butsu, we are able to focus on this moment, this daily life. So, rice is attaining the birth into the pyramid and attaining Buddhahood. Straw is this daily life. Benefit we receive by walking this path of Nembutsu. That is the straw. We should not flip it around and say that, this daily life is more important and attaining Buddhahood is like straw, right? So today is Ohigan, other shore service. So I wanted to talk about really the core, the essence of Jodo Shinshu teaching, which unfailingly bring us to the other shore by the working of the name Namo Amida Butsu. And our founder Shinran Shonin, his teacher Honen Shonin, the masters from the past, Shakyamuni Buddha, and our ancestors all recommends us to walk this path of Nembutsu. So I just follow their recommendation and walk this path of Nembutsu. And I am hoping that we walk the same path together as the followers of the same path, followers of the same practice, and as Dharma friends. Okay? So I'd like to conclude my message with the reading of a traditional epistle, a tradition of Shinran Shonin, written by our 8th head priest, Rennyo Shonin, from 15th century. So please join me in English, or please put your palms together. And I will read it in Japanese first, and then later in English. 聖人一流のご関係の向きは、信心のもって本とせられ、そのゆえは、もろもろの造業を投げ捨てて、一心に未来に奇妙すれば、不可思議の眼力通して、仏の偏りを情は事情せしめたも、そのくらいを一年発起入賞上始終とも釈し、その上の称名念仏った如来我が往生定めたまいし、御法人の念仏と心べきなり、あなかしこ、あなかしこ。The tradition of Shinran Shonin. What is taught in the tradition of Shinran Shonin is that the entrusting heart is essential. For when we abandon various practices and take refuge in Amida with singleness of heart, our birth in the pyramid is settled by the Buddha through the inconceivable vow power. The state we thus attain is described as with awakening of a single thought of entrusting, we join those who are in the stage of the truly settled. Recitation of the Nembutsu thereafter should be understood to be the Nembutsu as an expression of gratitude for the Tathagata's benevolence for settling our birth in the pyramid, humbly and respectfully. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namman Butsu, Namman Butsu, Namman Butsu. Well, this message is recorded and will be on YouTube, so if you felt like, oh, Sensei's talk is overwhelming, then you can go to online, watch YouTube video. Please watch over and over again.